Hello everyone, this is Brian from True Sustainability. I'm here at Mesa Community College and we're here with Julieta and Danette. We're going to talk about monarch butterflies and the milkweed waystations that they've set up here and the beautiful reason why that they're going ahead and doing these waystations to bring monarch butterflies back. Have some watering and stuff that's going on with these little plugs. And I'm just going to zoom in a little closer here so you can see this nice little plant coming up. So they start them out here. It takes quite a while for those milkweed to grow up, and I'm just gonna pan over to Danette so she can explain more about the process, how long it takes, and some more about milkweed and the monarch butterflies.
Hi everybody, my name's Danette and this is Julieta. She's our stellar student worker, and thank you for all your help. So we have just barely taken these plug pots today and reseeded them. The ones in the pot that Brian was showing you, those are several weeks old, so they're very slow growing. So this whole project kind of came to formation about a year ago, and we actually partnered with the Southwest Monarch Study Organization. The school donated some supplies and some seeds and plants, and the organization gave us about 200 plants. So we were lucky to get some support from the school and a plot of land at both our MCC and Red Mountain campus. We have some plants in the ground already for our first waystations at each place. And now the goal is to kind of keep plants in a rotation at different stages of the cycle, so we can replace whenever there's die-off or some kind of catastrophe. There's a lot of problems with rodents out at Red Mountain chomping on the plants, so we want to make it sustainable. And unfortunately, we have great students who will come out and help us. And in a minute, I'll show you some plants from our original donation, and you can kind of get an idea of how fast they grow, and what the A. subulata, which is the rush milkweed that's native to central Arizona, kind of what it looks like when it's young.
Okay, so that's an important point that you make there, is that you want to have a native species so that it's going to grow appropriately and not have as many problems, because it's actually going to climatize to where it's at, and it's going to grow in its environment. Also, how many plants would you say that you have on campus now?
So we started off with a donation of 100 for each campus, but we planted about 50 at each campus. So we've had 50 to replace, and 50 I'll show you in a minute that we are keeping reserved.
And you are actually taking some specimens of this plant, and you're making more plants, and you're going to have a plethora of seeds at some point. I know you talked to me personally about that. Let's get into that.
So that is correct. Our goal is to take the program out into the community, and in fact, one of our student workers was lucky enough to partner with the City of Mesa Parks and Rec, and they just barely finished making a presentation to 45 participants in the after-school program, where they taught them about monarchs, played a game related to the butterflies, and then helped them make seed balls with milkweed seeds in them. Seed balls are little clay balls that have all the nutrients and everything in it that you need to grow the plant. And then you don't need to plant them, you just throw them wherever you want them to grow, and give them a little water. Sooner or later, hopefully, you get a milkweed plant in your yard.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look around this nice little nursery that they have going on inside of here, and then we'll go and follow Danette outside and see the milkweed in their larger stage of growth. And we'll just go ahead and take a look at some of the things they're growing inside of here. very beautiful. Not just milkweed, but they have lots of plants that bring several types of butterflies to the area. And as you know, butterflies are really important to pollination, also to the natural beauty of the landscape. And so we do want to keep them around. They also have some cactuses going on in here, different types of native species, maybe some subtropicals in here, stuff that's going to grow well in Arizona. So really nice setup with all these different little plants to try to get them going before they take them around campus and get them planted in the ground. So let's go ahead and follow Danette outside, and we'll take a look at the rest of the area, and then she can explain further more about the program and what they're trying to accomplish here. So as you can see, it's just inundated with all these beautiful flower plants everywhere. A little while ago it was a little bit more vibrant. It's starting to get cold, so some of these plants are starting to kind of die back. The flowers are kind of struggling just a hair, but it's still really beautiful space over here. They filled the area with lots of beautiful flowers, and this just attracts a ton of butterflies. Maybe later on in the afternoon I'll be able to follow up and see where all the butterflies are, but right now, like I said, they're kind of hiding right now because it's cold. So as it warms up, they'll come out and show us how beautiful they are and fly around, and it's a really cool experience. So now let's go back over here. So now we have the larger plants, and you said to get to this stage it took how long?
About a year.
Okay.
Over a year. These plants were grown in the greenhouse, so they're laying down. Once they're out where they're exposed to the elements, wind, direct sunlight, and etc., they'll start to stand up, kind of like this one, and put out more leaves. This one has been chewed on a little bit by some caterpillars already, supporting that life cycle, but we just moved those out today. The plug pots that we just showed you, those were just seeded today as well. So
Okay.
moved these out, seeded those plants.
So why is milkweed important to monarch butterflies?
Well, it is the only plant that monarchs and queen butterflies will eat as caterpillars. And Arizona is lucky because we have a number of varieties that grow up in the higher elevations down to central Arizona. This, like I said, this variety is native to central Arizona, but we also have some tropical milkweed growing here in the greenhouse that they enjoy as well. Those aren't native to Arizona.
So the specific properties of this plant, you discussed with me earlier as well about that they have a specific chemical.
Right, they have a toxin. It's a latex, and it's a toxin that makes the insect bitter or unpalatable to the people to the things that prey on it. So once a bird eats a butterfly or a caterpillar, we get sick and then learn not to eat them again.
Yes, so it's critical for their survival at this point, especially as a vulnerable caterpillar. Before it makes it in its cocoon, it could be picked off by some birds or other prey. So if you touch this milkweed, it's actually pretty itchy and uncomfortable. So that's because of the toxin stuff that's involved with the plant. So this specific type of variety is not the most beautiful, but it has such a wonderful purpose, and it is bringing back a species that's kind of having trouble, and they've had their habitat kind of taken away. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So they are considered a noxious weed by many people. That's why they've been eradicated and treated like a weed. And so we're trying to change that perception. However, we are encouraging people to plant them in spaces that they feel like they can, but be aware
So if you're trying to do this at home and you know, do your little part here in Arizona or wherever you are to try to help monarch butterflies, then you're gonna want to just maybe have one plant and try to test it out and see how it is. It does grow slowly, so you'll have a lot of time to figure it out before you place it into the ground, and then, you know, have it kind of spread a little bit from there. But our hard soil makes it a little difficult for plants to kind of spread out anyways, so it's not quite as big of a deal when you have an invasive species, because the seeds don't tend to take quite as easily. But so let's talk about what you guys have experienced with the different cycles of growth with these caterpillars, and seeing them come about since you started the project to now.
Sure. Well, first I'd like to point out, if you're going to really get into it, the Southwest Monarch Study, they're a really good resource. I would encourage you to check out their website, and they recommend about 11 plants for a really good plot if you want to support a population. So you'll need 3 things for your Waystation. You'll need, of course, the plants. You'll need some place like a tree nearby that they can roost, the butterflies can roost in, and a few nectar plants. So if you have the nectar plants, that's going to provide the 4th element, which is a little bit of water. You don't need a lot of water all the time, just some moisture that they can puddle in periodically. We're really happy with the progress we've been experiencing. At one campus, we have a few more, it's more out in nature, so we have a little bit more problems with rodents like rabbits and ground squirrels initially when the plants are young. But we put some cages around them, and they're thriving and surviving and doing well. And here at MCC, we've had our first customers. So we've found some caterpillars on there.
Awesome. So I've actually seen some of these caterpillars, and it's a really cool experience. And I've also seen all the butterflies. It would just happen to be a few weeks back when it was a little bit warmer, and I wish I had gotten some video of that while I could, but unfortunately I do not. But if later on the day, if I do see these butterflies, we'll go ahead and add that footage. But the really cool thing, and the question you might be asking yourself, is why is this important to sustainability? Well, the animals that are native to the area are very important to the ecosystem, and when those animals no longer exist, it hurts the ecosystem. It hurts the natural balance of nature, and we need to be really mindful of our impact on these creatures. And you know, just to give a brief example, over in Yellowstone there was a problem with wolf populations that got too low, and it affected every single creature from there, and the plant life, the animal life, everything struggled in that area for quite a few years until the wolf population was brought up. So the things that we think are small, these creatures that we think are small and insignificant, and these plants that we think are maybe invasive or ugly, have a huge purpose. So biodiversity and all these things is what makes Arizona or other places beautiful and unique. And so if we take away those animals, we're affecting many things. So let's go ahead and look at some larger plants, and we'll kind of see the next stage of growth. So let's go ahead and go over here. So this is kind of what it looks like when it's growing up nice and big and strong, and this is what a flower looks like here. And then it looks like we have a caterpillar that is sitting here on a branch, if we can get that video. So this is a special little experience right here to have one of the caterpillars just hanging out. So hopefully in the next little while this guy will be able to set up in a cocoon and then be able to become a beautiful monarch butterfly. So that's kind of what it looks like. And so this whole garden bed here is full of milkweed, and then they have some more around in this other area down at the base. And here's the tropical style. So honestly, I think this one to me is a little bit more pretty, but I really love tropical plants. So I'm not really a huge deserty plant guy. It's because I've been in Arizona my whole life, so I like to see different things than I've already experienced. So these are really radiant, beautiful flowers that are coming off of here. I really enjoy this. It's quite a different kind of thing. It's kind of like a mix between kind of an individual plant and a bush. So it's very unique. And I really love the leaves on here. Nice pointy leaves. That's usually typical for subtropical kind of plants. They usually do have those kind of pointy, smaller leaves. And then here is an area where these have gotten really big. The milkweed is definitely taking off really strong. It's they're really straight up. They're not really drooping or anything like that because they're just really happy, full of water from the rain that we just had. So we're just gonna go ahead and finish up this video. I hope you guys learned something about the monarch butterflies and how important it is to maintain their habitat. Any kind of species that you know of that are having trouble, try to get involved, see what you can do, see what networks are out there so that you can bring back these species that are having trouble surviving, and let's try to bring them back to thriving where they're everywhere, where we can enjoy their beauty. So I'm just gonna flip it over here again and say, you are the change, you are sustainability, and you can save species. You can be the difference. You can make something happen. Mesa Community College is making it happen here. They are saving these species from dying out because of these waystations. And there's other animals, there's other plants, there's other biodiversity out there that needs our help, because we were the ones that made the problem in the first place, more than likely, and we are the ones that need to come back in and fix those things so that we can come back to the environment that nature intended it to be, to have these creatures that are beautiful and special and need to be a part of this earth. So thank you for your time. You guys have a great day.